I would expect nothing less. Are you? No? Are you, my sir?
No.
Okay.
My name's.
Oh, you're not,
Yeah.
you signed in, but you're not gonna,
No.
All right.
Cross my name.
well, okay, we're not gonna cross it. I'll just put a note on there that you didn't. All right. Thank you, Ron. One day, Les.
One day.
One day, you'll leave the camera behind and you'll take the podium.
It'll be a good one.
Anybody speaking?
No.
Dick, come on.
No.
Well,
I believe you've read what I had to say.
did.
Say anything right now?
No? You want some podium?
Tell Joe.
I do like the way you say take the podium, but leave the microphone. We got it right at it, right? All right, Karen, whenever you tell us go. Okay. All right, let's bring the Thursday, October 27th, Webster Town Board meeting to order. Pledge of allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Alan, can you do roll call, please?
Supervisor Flaherty.
Here.
Councilman Abbott.
Here.
Councilwoman Cody. Present. Councilman Cahill.
Here.
Councilwoman Wynn. Here. Town Attorney Janeski.
Present. Okay, I always have this beam kind of block people, so is Chief Holmeyer not here yet?
He's not.
Okay. Well, the next item up tonight, I'm very proud to tell everybody that I think for the first time in, it's got to be at least 10 years, the town of Webster is sponsoring, do you call it a cadet, Corey?
Recruit.
Recruit in the police academy.
That's right.
And his name is Corey Queen. And Corey, do you want to come up to the podium and introduce yourself? And I think you've been in the police academy now for about 3 weeks?
3 days.
3 days?
3 days.
Okay.
Yes.
That's fantastic. And, like I said, in the last 10, 15 years, here he comes. Jake, I'm going to have you take over.
Wow. You guys are prom? Good.
Well, he doesn't have to run away.
Yeah, no. Good, I'm back. So, thank you, sir. We've had a number of vacancies this year. So between retirements and transfers, we typically have about 3 people leave a year. So far this year, we're up to 5. It was our goal to take transfer officers to fill that. It usually gets us up to speed a little quicker. It's worth the money spent on the cost of transfers in order to get them on the road quicker. We've always balanced that though with starting our own people and bringing them in through the academy. So we've always kept that as an option when it's viable. As an academy approached this fall, we thought it would be a good opportunity to supplement the transfer process with a new hire. We were actually looking potentially for up to 3, given our current vacancies, but we were very lucky to get the one that we got. Corey is born and raised here in Webster, military veteran, and he's a solid worker and going to be a great asset for us in the police department. We were able to bring him on pretty quick notice, get him into the academy that started yesterday, and we wanted to take this opportunity to introduce him to the town and the town to him. So, without further ado, I'll let him step up so you can ask any questions or you can make a brief little statement.
So as the chief has stated, my name is Corey Queen. Super excited to be a part of the Webster Police family. This is really a dream come true for me. Webster is where I've always wanted to settle down. It's where I was born, where I was raised. And so what a great honor it is to be able to represent the great town of Webster in this fall's police academy.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Welcome
Welcome to the
aboard.
academy. Welcome.
Any questions for him?
He's got his work cut out.
That's not a question.
Yeah, it's a very accurate statement, though.
Yes.
As everybody knows, the police academy is not an easy process. There's a lot of academic component to it, but also an extremely rigorous physical component to it. Over the years, the way we train officers has progressed through reality-based training, where they have a lot of hands-on dynamic scenarios that they use as building blocks to get them up prepared to enter the real world and represent the town. It's not an easy job, and as we've seen with the scrutiny on officers, it's not one that people take lightly or enter this profession lightly. So we're very pleased to have him. We're looking forward to the contribution he's going to bring for us, and we're going to be there to help him through his training process and get him on the road as quick as we can.
Great. Thanks. Amen. Thanks, Chief. Okay. Next up on the agenda tonight is our open to the floor segment, where each speaker is allowed up to 5 minutes on the podium. And I think from perusing the room, we have only one tonight, and that is the previous town supervisor, Ron Nesbitt. So, Ron, jump in.
Good evening, Supervisor and town board members. I'm here this evening because the supervisor has announced a workshop for November 10th with the CEO of Northeast Quadrant and the town board to discuss ambulance service in Webster. What is missing that night is the right of 46,000 Webster residents to speak on this topic. So I'm here tonight to speak for those residents who have contacted me about this issue, but are too afraid to speak out due to the retaliation and ridicule from the supervisor and the CEO of Nikos. The issues that they have brought to my attention are very concerning, and thus my reason for speaking tonight. First off, I and some current town board members were responsible for obtaining the certificate of need back in January of 2020. And it was a long and hard process to complete this task. Our goal all along was to create a town ambulance service that would provide fast, timely, and efficient care to the residents of Webster. It was never our intention to fund an ambulance district, and I'm disappointed to see what has transpired since I left office. In fact, before leaving office at the end of 2019, and preparing the 2020 budget with the Director of Finance, we had cut the $50,000 donation of taxpayer funds to $25,000. My goal was always to not provide any additional funds to Nikos after they received third-party billing, and the CEO knew that. Over the past 2 years, I found out that the foundation of our work was built on lies from the CEO of Nikos. When I was supervisor, he constantly told I and the board that once his organization had that certificate in hand, they could third-party bill and would be in good financial shape to move forward. They would never need additional money from the town. Now it appears that he pulled the same stunt with you in a bid to take over West Webster Ambulance. He sold you the same lie that his agency would be financially solvent if they got West Webster. Yet here we are, having to bail him out. Are we sensing a pattern here? So lies have gotten us to this point, and now behind the scenes, it looks like this agency is in free fall. Employees are bailing on a daily basis, getting fired for expressing concerns, including 2 board members who are now banned from the premises for daring to question the CEO. Does the town board have any idea how bad the staffing is right now? And that employees are leaving due to concerns about safety and how the CEO is running things. Just in the past 2 weeks, 5 employees have left, with 2 of them going to Penfield Ambulance. The loss of that many dedicated first responders with years of service to our town should be a giant red flag for the town board. Just today, I received a message that only 1 ambulance is running, and there is a mass exodus of employees because of the CEO. Also today, Penfield Ambulance has taken 4 EMS calls for Webster. Many of those employees have communicated to me that there are serious financial concerns with the new base. The CEO made a loan deal with the builder of the building for $500,000. He hasn't paid it back, and now the builder plans to sue. Local mechanics in town don't want to service the aging ambulances due to the lack of payment. And yet he has the audacity to ask Webster residents for $800,000 for an ambulance district. That doesn't hold water when Penfield Ambulance received just $150,000 from the town of Penfield to run their top-notch ambulance service with third-party billing, just like Nichols does. Oh, but Penfield expects to turn a profit next year, unlike Webster. I wonder why. I'm not in favor of Webster residents providing any more taxpayer dollars to Nichols until the Webster community gets to see the true financial reports to completely understand why this organization is in such financial distress as they claim. When I was here last, I asked the Supervisor Flaherty about getting the financial reports he had from Nichols, and he told me to file a FOIL. I did exactly what he asked. But I got a bogus response saying my request is denied because if disclosed would result in unwarranted invasion of a personal privacy. Those words came from the town attorney. Why didn't the town just redact the personal privacy items in the financial report and allow the Webster community to actually see how this private business is run? Why is this town board hiding financial information from Webster residents, I asked? Is the information so bad you don't think we could understand it? I, along with many Webster residents, are still waiting for this town board to write up a new ambulance contract with NECO since November of 2021. When
Mr.
supervisor,
Nesbitt, you're at 6 minutes and 30 seconds now, I'm giving you a lot of latitude.
I got
How
about
much
2 more
longer do you
minutes.
have?
when Supervisor Flaherty
I
stated,
think, you know what?
yeah,
You didn't answer the question. How much longer do you have?
2 minutes,
No. No. Get to your final thing.
fine, thank you.
I'm going to count 30 seconds. That'll put you
I
at
know,
7 minutes.
I understand that you're very punctual, Supervisor Flaherty. In closing, I'm often asked why I no longer support this initiative that I helped start years ago. My answer is simple. I don't like being lied to, and neither should our Webster residents. Thank you.
Thank you. I think it's important to note from Mr. Nesbitt's comments, especially since there are people in the room tonight that I can tell by uniforms and this and that, would be very interested in what he said. I find it interesting, we live in a society where you can just go out and throw out words, and as soon as they come out of the mouth, they're, supposed to be taken at gospel. If you look at the facts of what are going on here, we have been very transparent, that word that everybody likes to use. Yes, Nequals came in and asked us to give taxpayer money of $800,000, but the board's answer was no, that's not going to happen. What we are going to do is enter into a due diligence process, which I have written articles about and told the community that we are gathering a lot of information from neat walls so this town board can make an educated decision for the taxpayers. So a lot of what Mr. Nesbitt said or didn't say is not actually telling the facts of where we sit on October 27th, 2022, as to how the town board is discerning what, if any, money to give neat walls beyond into 2023. So I'll leave it at that. We will move on to the rest of the agenda. Now, the next agenda item is we have 2 board minutes to consider for approval. I have looked over both of them. I make a motion that we approve the October 6th, 2022 minutes.
Second. Supervisor Flaherty.
Aye.
Councilwoman Cataldi.
Aye.
Councilman Abbott.
Aye.
Councilman Cahill.
Aye.
Councilwoman Wynn. Aye.
And I also looked over the October 13th public hearing minutes, and I make a motion that we approve those.
Second.
Supervisor Flaherty.
Aye.
Councilman Cahill. Councilwoman Wynn. Aye. Councilwoman Cataldi. Aye. Councilman Abbott.
Aye.
Was it Jimmy? It's Bill. Jeez, that's right, Bill.
I reviewed the purchase orders and bills submitted by the Director of Finance and found them in order and recommend they.
Second. Councilman Abbott.
Aye.
Councilwoman Cataldi.
Aye.
Councilman Cahill.
Aye.
Councilwoman Wynn. Aye. Supervisor Flaherty.
Aye. And I have reviewed the prepaid warrants as submitted by the Director of Finance, and I make a motion to approve
Second. Supervisor Flaherty.
those. Aye.
Councilwoman Cataldi. Aye. Councilman Abbott.
Aye.
Councilman Cahill.
Aye.
Councilwoman Wynn. Aye.
Well, the next 2 resolutions pertain to the 2023 calendar year, fiscal year budget for the town. And I gotta say, with all that has occurred in the budget process going back to May of this year, all the meetings, all the hours, all the back and forth, it seems kind of interesting that this kind of ends with a simple 1-minute resolution. Interestingly enough, at the public hearing 2 weeks ago, we had nobody get up and make any statements or questions on the preliminary budget. I'm going to assume, because it was in the Webster today, and how much we really have tried to advertise it, that we must have done a good job putting the budget together, but also explaining any questions that came in. So, without further ado, the first resolution tonight, and I know we were talking about this before the meeting started, it is a revision to the 2023 preliminary budget. Paul Adams, our finance director, is not here tonight, but he has explained to the town board, and this has been put up, I think, on the website too, for the citizens. This is essentially moving money from one fund. I don't know how I would describe this. There's not really a financial effect on these.
It's reappropriating.
It's reappropriated. That's the word I was looking for. Thank you. Thank you. And I'm on my A game tonight. So unless the board has any questions about these revisions from the preliminary budget, which are in the proposed final budget, it's pretty self-explanatory. It's two.
Yeah,
So-
so we did receive them well in advance of the meeting with the explanation.
Okay. I make a motion to approve the revisions to the 2023 preliminary budget.
Second.
Supervisor Flaherty.
Aye.
Councilman Cahill.
Aye.
Councilwoman Wynn. Aye. Councilwoman Cataldi.
Aye.
Councilman Abbott.
Aye.
And, amazingly enough, unless any of the board members have any comments or questions before I make this motion to approve the 2023 final budget? Bill? Okay.
No, I do not.
I make a motion to to approve the 2023 Town of Webster final budget.
Second.
Supervisor Flaherty?
Aye.
Councilman Cahill?
Aye.
Councilwoman Wynn?
Aye.
Councilwoman Catali?
Aye.
Councilman Abbott?
Aye.
All right, the next two resolutions pertain to something I know that we've talked about at the board in the last 6 months, and that being that, I think it was back in April of this year, the town applied to the DEC, New York State DEC forestry grant for $270,000. No, we applied for $300,000 grant to buy Gary Wood's property at 760 Herman Road. Beautiful piece of land, approximately 29 acres, ties into our existing parks and trails. I mean, a real jewel. To be honest with you, when we were applying for the grant, there was a lot of skeptics saying this is kind of a waste of time, we'll never get it.
Let's reach.
We got it.
Yeah, I know. I
Well-
was very surprised.
And
Pleasantly surprised.
Not only was it a reach, it took a heroic effort for their department heads and really putting it together and meeting the deadline. And even though it was a stretch, we went for it. And I think we've just gained a great, as you said, jewel to our community. And it's, you know, we keep talking about preserving open space and trying to acquire more. And I think that this is a win-win for everybody in town.
it really
It's
is.
a huge win.
Yeah.
Big time.
It's funny, we're trying to also parlay that experience into the meetings, and Patty, I know you attended one, where we were trying to come up with a structure, strategy, philosophy of how we apply for grants in the future. What did we learn from this? You know, it's the old saying that you can't get a hit if you sit in the dugout. You gotta get up there. And, you know, if you're afraid of striking out and spending, time, which is time, there's usually not direct dollars spent on applying for the grant, but there's time and resources
Time is
and
money
whatever.
with resources, sure.
So, anyway, I did reach out today, or actually yesterday, to the Woods family. Gary and his wife's daughter is really kind of handling the situation for them. And I let Nan know, daughter, that these things are happening tonight. This is another milestone in the process. I said, your family does not need to come. This is kind of housekeeping just to get us what we need, I think, Charlie, for to put a ribbon around with the DEC forestry grant. So,
I think we should also include the fact that this was, it was really the family's desire to keep this property as pristine as possible. So they're obviously very pleased with this.
so
Without further ado,
without further ado, would you
I move that we authorize the town supervisor to sign the New York State Department of Environmental Conservation Community Forest Conservation Grant Agreement. Contract number DEC 01-CO1669 GG-3350000, which will provide grant funding in the amount of $270,089 for the purchase of the 28.7 acre Gary Wood Community Forest at 760 Herman Road, Webster, tax ID number 064.01-1-17.
Councilwoman Catali?
Aye.
Councilman Abbott?
Aye.
Councilman Cahill?
Aye.
Councilwoman Wynn?
Aye.
Supervisor Flaherty?
Aye. And I'm sure everybody has heard this woman's name before because she was very instrumental in a piece of 5-acre parcel that we bought earlier this year. She donated the money. And Mary's husband passed away, I think, a year, 18 months ago. And she felt very strongly about having a certain amount of money given to the town for the purpose of obtaining this green space. And when I say this green space, various green spaces.
She gave us money to purchase property off Dunbridge, formerly owned by Barry Malone.
Yes, yeah. And in the amount of money that she said she would dedicate to the town, to the Barry Barone property, $5 5 acres did not encapsulate the whole amount. She said, show us some other things you're doing that it can.
A great blessing to the town.
It's unbelievable.
And very
She
generous.
she's amazing, so. I make a motion for the Webster Town Board to accept a donation of money from Mary Dunbovi to assist in the purchase of the 27.8 acre Herman Road Forever Wild Forest located at 760 Herman Road, Webster, New York, tax ID number 064.01-1-17.
Second.
Supervisor Flaherty?
Aye.
Councilwoman Cowley?
Aye.
Councilman Abbott?
I just want to add seekers type 2.
Thank you.
Man, am I glad he's here.
Aye.
Councilman Cahill?
Aye.
Councilwoman Lynn?
Bill, you really gotta go into consulting and governance stuff when you're done with your term. It's like an encyclopedia down there.
It's been a long time.
He's our secret guru.
It's unbelievable. It really, Mary, is this you talking about this next one?
Yeah, I can shed some light on this. I've been working with our new code enforcement, code compliance coordinator and Josh Artuso on putting together an invitation for bid for code enforcement remedial services. So this is for maintenance needed on abandoned, neglected, or inadequately maintained properties in the town of Webster. So yard maintenance, rubbish and garbage removal, and securing of structures. So it'll be a unit price bid that can be utilized as needed when situations arise. And then when we do have to utilize this contract, the work is paid for in the front end by the town of Webster, but then we invoice the property owner. And if that doesn't work, then we put a lien against the tax on the property. So eventually, the town should be recouped for the investment that they make.
All right, and how many of the board members have met Jim Montgomery, our new code enforcement coordinator? Yeah, he will soon, he's impressive.
Sure.
And he's got some ideas. I think they're doing a presentation in one of the November, it's gotta be November first.
Yes, the 10th, I believe there
Yeah.
is. That's going to be a full agenda.
Yeah, well, no workshop on the 24th unless you guys want to break into your Thanksgiving. So. Well, any questions by the board? Well, I make a motion to advertise and solicit bids for the code enforcement remedial service and set advertisements to be published in the Wednesday, November 2nd, 2022 Webster Herald edition.
Second.
Supervisor Flaherty?
Aye.
Councilwoman Cowley?
Aye.
Councilman Abbott?
Aye.
Councilman Cahill?
Aye.
Councilwoman Lynn?
All right, we have a few last ones here, kind of housekeeping.
I can talk
Yeah,
about
you
these
might need
also.
to.
So as we discussed quite a bit last year, the town hall vehicles were quite old, so we have contracted with Enterprise to do a lease program. So there's two Impalas, 2006 and 2008. One is currently being used by assessment, and they're going to be getting the 2017 Malibu. So they are going to auction the 2008 that they're currently using and then get a transfer from engineering and community development of the 2017 Malibu. And then we also have the 2006 Impala that's getting auctioned as well. So we've gotten 2 Ford Rangers in from Enterprise, and we've gotten 1 of our Escapes in, and we have the other 2 Escapes that we're expecting. They're at the dealership. We're just waiting for the light package to come in and get installed, so we're kind of expecting those any day. So we're just trying to clean up our fleet at this point.
All right, well then, any questions? I want to rattle off these next 3, because they're all kind of, the next 2 at least, or what Mary just explained. Nothing? All right, I make a motion to declare the following items for auction from the assessment. I beg your pardon? something different? No, that's okay. Do I make a motion to declare the following item for auction from the assessment department, a 2008 Chevy Impala asset tag number 3391?
Second.
Councilwoman Nessa.
Between Bill
Thank
and
you. Supervisor Flaherty.
Aye.
Councilman Abbott.
Aye.
Councilwoman Cowley.
Aye.
Councilman Cahill.
Aye.
Councilwoman Wood.
Aye.
And I make a motion to transfer the following item from the engineering and community development departments, formerly Department of Public Works, to the assessment department in 2017 Chevy Malibu asset tag number 6554.
Second.
Is this the same? These are eight for the resolution. I'm not sure why there's chronicled as 8B and D.
Probably because one's going to the assessing department, the other one's going to auction.
Let's do these separate resolutions. 2006. Yeah,
They are.
okay,
I will second the first one.
thank you.
2017 Chevy Malibu.
Resolution 8B will turn into resolution 9, and the highway department will turn into 10. Thank you, Patty. So, forget the A part. I made a motion to transfer the following item from the engineering community development to the assessment department, 17 Malibu asset tag number 6554, and Patty seconded it.
Well, it's set up that way in the agenda.
This is in the folder.
Oh, we just changed it. Oh, I see. Oh, I see. Okay. But it is.
Yes.
One's going to assessing, the other.
No, I understand what's happening. It's just two separate
Now we're
resolutions.
doing, this is over. So. Well, I'm glad this is housekeeping items and not on some heavy lifts, huh? So, okay.
So we did this.
I'm going to read it again. I'm going to make a motion to transfer the following item from the Engineering and Community Development Departments, formerly the Department of Public Works, to the Asset Assessment Department. 2017 Chevy Malibu asset tag number 6554.
And I will second that again.
Supervisor Flaherty.
Aye?
Councilwoman Cowley.
Aye.
Councilman Abbott.
Sure.
Councilman Cahill.
Absolutely.
Councilwoman Wood.
Aye.
Wait, can we see that? How did you get that agenda? Right? The one person who needed to have the same
Yeah.
agenda. That's all right. I'm going to make a motion to declare the following item for auction from the Engineering and Community Development Departments, a 2006 Chevrolet Impala asset tag number 3217.
Second.
Supervisor Flaherty.
Aye?
Councilwoman Wynn.
Aye.
Councilman Cahill.
Yes.
Councilwoman Cowley.
Aye.
Councilman Abbott.
Aye.
Bill, do you know about the last one here?
I'm familiar with what they're putting out for the resolution, yes.
Okay, so all good?
Yes.
All right. Well, I'm going to make a motion to declare the following items for trade-in/auction from the Highway Department. In 2016 Colbeco, I hope I said that right, excavator, asset tag number 06535. 2012 Cat excavator, asset tag number 05892. 2006 Ford Crew Cab, asset tag number 04418. A dump body, asset number 06304. A plow wing, asset tag number 02514. And a power tilt coupler, asset tag number 04664.
Second.
Supervisor Flaherty.
Aye.
Councilwoman Wynn.
Aye.
Councilman Cahill.
Aye.
Councilwoman Cowley.
Aye.
Councilman Abbott.
Aye.
And those last three items were accoutrements to the first couple of items. That concludes our formal meeting tonight, formal agenda. We will go around the room, but I will say that I'm going to make a motion to go into executive session, referencing section 105. And it is, Charlie is going to be, which one here?
What is the subject?
I'm going to go with the one that makes the most sense to this.
So if it's involving,
Where
if
is
it's F, it's one F is involving the financial,
Yeah.
credit or employment history of a particular person.
F. Yep.
So it's under 105, 1F.
105, 1F, medical financial credit or employment history of a particular person, corporation, okay. So I'm going to make that motion to go into executive session, but I also, does everybody mind if we maybe don't do the roundabout tonight?
No,
I just want to mention two things.
Sure.
The two-way traffic will be open down Sandbar on November 1st, and Pumpkin on Parade the 29th at Parks and Rec.
can I add?
Yeah, yes, we can do this
There's a
roundabout.
lot going on. So
Yes.
Saturday morning at Wegmans, I believe it's from midday, it's 10 until 2. The town is partnering with Wegmans, with Wen, and the Webster Police Department. We have the drug take-back program, so you can bring your unused prescriptions to Wegmans and turn those in, because we certainly don't want you to keep them in your medicine or flush them down the toilet. Also, on Saturday, the BID is hosting the Halloween in the Village event, and that's going on most of the day. It's a great time for families. Kids can come in costume, there's judging. I know the fire department on South Ave will be having an open house, and it's just lots of activities, so I encourage people to come out for that. The weather looks good. It is Halloween on Monday night, so watch your kiddos, make sure that they're safe.
Jenny.
Okay, and also the Webster Public Library is going to have an event for kids till on Friday night, so bring your little ones with the custom to know and enjoy and have a safe and a happy Halloween.
I'm just going to echo what Patty said. I attended many of the Halloween in the Village. It's a huge turnout. The kids just have a ball. And some of the costumes are really, really creative. They have the judging in town or village hall. It's a great, great time. And the hobby shop, they have some of the best costumes. The employee over there, Tom McCoy, the owner, they do a great job over there.
And there's all kinds of categories for those costumes. So
Yeah.
there's best family costume and
Yeah.
age appropriate and all of those things. It's fun.
I don't want to short you, Mary. Do you have anything about it?
Well, I will say that the road got striped today, and it was open to two-way traffic through Sandbar Park today. So we were able to beat the schedule. So that was a huge milestone. So that's exciting that that's going on down there. And on November 10th, campus construction and myself and perhaps Pat will pitch in. We're going to have a presentation to go over what was accomplished this year down there, just to kind of recap the 2022 construction season on Sandbar Park. So
We're going to send out a pizza for them.
15 minutes slots.
Oh,
Don't
yeah.
worry about that. Charlie.
I guess to all current and former Swabbies, Happy Navy Day.
Okay. Well, so I guess I would say that at 8:07, I'm making a motion to go into executive session referencing 105 1F. Who I would like at this is the town board, Charlie Genesi, and Chief Dennis Coleman of the Webster Police Department.
And we'll be adjourned right after.
Yes.
Second.
Okay.
Supervisor Flaherty?
Aye.
Councilman Cahill?
Aye.
Councilman Abbott?
Aye.
Councilwoman Cody?
Aye.
And Councilwoman Wood?
aye.
All right, well, that And then I will, let you, I got 8 or 8 going in